All right, so the long-awaited League Start food prep tier list. I rated each food based on taste, reheatability / the leftovers potential, um, the blast coefficient, which is like, how much it's gonna make you blast the toilet. Like your toilet's gonna wish it was never born. The messiness of the food, if it is like a delivery food or not. If it's a delivery food, that's a downside because that's a big risk. Like, there's way too many stupid delivery people who, like, will just waste your time for literally like 30 minutes. That's big. It's not good. Then the price, and then the sleepiness factor, how sleepy the food will make you if you eat it. All right, so coming in at number 1, this is it's like chicken and couscous or rice or whatever substitute there you want to go for. It's a really good all-rounder. It's pretty much good at everything. It is good taste. It is like pretty much perfect reheated. Well, not perfect, but pretty good. 0 chance for the blast. And then all the rest of the categories are all pretty good. Fried rice. It's got a 10 in taste. It's pretty good. Pretty good for reheating too. It's not gonna make you blast. Yeah, solid all around. The downside, I guess, would be it could get you a little sleepy. Cause I mean, it's kind of a full hearty meal. Well, sort of. It can be. It can feel like it. It can make you full. Hey, quiet cat. All right, coming in the A tiers is mac and cheese. It's a 9 in taste. The reheatability, I mean, it really depends on the mac and cheese. Like, if you're doing like Kraft mac and cheese from box, I wouldn't go for the reheating angle there. But there's plenty of like oven baked mac and cheeses that are good. So it scores incredibly high on the blast coefficient here because, well, it is like basically pure cheese, and what that's gonna do is it's gonna like turn your poop into a brick, and it's gonna get stuck inside of you if you like eat enough of it. This is obviously not the case if you're lactose intolerant, but obviously you wouldn't be eating a cheese-based food that is literally all cheese if you're lactose intolerant. So, like, this is gonna give you a couple extra days before you gotta go on a big number 2 bathroom break. Saves you a lot of time. Downside is you might have to like reach up and grab it to get it out when the time does come. But other than that, it's good in all categories. The sleepiness is pretty bad. I mean, you eat a lot of mac and cheese, you're out. Like that's a belly warming meal. That's food coma material right there. All right, so next is soups. Any kind of soups really. Taste is not as good as other foods, but it's still pretty good, right? Perfect reheating. I think when you heat up soup, or 99% of soups reheating it, it's like exactly the same as normal. You're not gonna blast from soup. Like, this is sick food. Like soup, you eat soup when you're sick, so it's no blast potential. Though the messiness does kind of take a hit because there is some splash potential. And soups are usually pretty light, so it won't put you to sleep. Now this is kind of an underdog here. Salad. I didn't expect it to get this high. Maybe next patch it'll definitely be readjusted, but this is where it landed for now. So taste, it's an 8. Salads are pretty good. Well, mostly the salad dressing. I could just drink salad dressing. It's pretty good. The leftovers perspective is nearly perfect. The only downside is when you put it in a bowl, you can't put the salad dressing on the salad beforehand. So you got to do that every time you want another bowl. And that is not ideal, but that's like 4 seconds. It's fine. It can be kind of messy, depending on what's in your salad. If you get some salad dressing on your face and whatever. 0 sleepiness. The downside of this, which for some reason wasn't a factor, but it should be a factor, and then it definitely would have scored lower. I'll have to take that into account for next patch, but it will not really fill you up. It's not a filling food, so keep that in mind. Don't get fooled. The next one is pasta bake. Another pretty much all good rounder, good at everything except for sleepiness. That's gonna knock you out for sure. I think that's supposed to be a 54. I don't know if it's 51. I'm not adding the numbers. Looks like, based on the numbers, it can't be 1. So yeah, it's definitely a 54 total. Now we got lasagna. Pretty good all round is pasta bake. It tastes better, but you kind of sacrifice some messiness for that. Lasagna can get pretty messy, so that's not great. Hold on, I gotta release a cat from the prison. Okay, carrying on. Ow. Oh shit. Okay. Taquitos or flautas or similar things. 10 in taste. It really suffers in the blast coefficient. This is big blast potential, especially depending like how you make it. I mean, if you think if you're eating those non-spicy, you're kind of just trolling. So definitely a blast coefficient there. It can be kind of greasy. It's like fried. It's gonna be a 5 for sleepiness. Not great, not terrible. Now, here's a kind of underdog too, I think. 2 underdogs, actually. I didn't expect either of these to rate this high. But Dino Nuggies is like very extreme. Its taste is awful. You can argue with me all you want, but Dino Nuggies are not good. They're like barely even chicken. Reheatability is a 0. If you don't finish your Dino Nuggies, those are going in the trash. You're not gonna put those Dino Nuggies you already heated up back into the freezer or fridge and then reheat it. That's just not right. And then it's a 10 in every other category. That's what really saves it. Like super cheap, no potential for messiness. Like you give this to babies, you're definitely not gonna blast from it. No one has ever blasted from Dino Nuggies. Not gonna put you to sleep. Yeah, pretty solid in all those categories. Peanut butter and jelly. It's kind of the same thing. You kind of sacrifice a little bit of taste. I mean, it's not bad. Like it's like middle of the pack PB&J, you know. It's the same thing though. If you don't finish your PB&J, that sandwich is going straight to the trash. It's not gonna make you blast. If you're allergic to peanut butter, you can't eat it, so that's kind of a downside. But imagine being defeated by food. It can be pretty messy if like the juice could squirt out and it gets kind of sticky. Other than that, it's a 10 in all categories. All right, moving into the B tiers. We got Alfredo here. Yeah, so it's a 10 for taste. The reheatability is kind of a miss though. It still tastes good, still tastes very good, but it kind of gets like a bunch of oil, especially when you put it in the microwave or whatever. That would be like a big pool of oil. It's not great. Other downsides would be the price. The cheese can be kind of expensive. You're getting good cheese, which you probably should get good cheese for Alfredo. It can be a little bit messy with that oil after reheating. Not like terribly messy, but and then it's got a 2 score for sleepiness. So that's not good. All right. Curry. Any kind of curry. So it's a 10 for taste, 9 for reheatability. It's very good. The biggest downfall here is the blast coefficient. So I suppose you can get a non-spicy one, but like it's again, if you're getting a non-spicy one, I feel like you're kind of trolling. So there's a lot of blast potential there. Sleepiness is not great either. It's okay, but yeah. Smoothies, you got a 10 out of 10 taste, but you got a 1 for leftovers. Can't really, if you like re-put a smoothie like in a fridge or something, it's not gonna be the same after a couple hours. It's not gonna be the same. It can be sticky if you spill it. Oh, you're in for a rough time if you spill it. Price could be a little bit of an issue too. Like fresh ingredients really makes it. Like, if you're not using fresh ingredients, it's much worse. So it's a little bit of a minus on the cost here. All right, we got burritos, 10 for taste. Okay, reheatability. It's not terrible actually. There's maybe a little bit of surprise, but they reheat pretty well generally when I make them. Messiness is really not good. Like, it's like a coin flip. If you make it perfectly and you eat it perfectly, you're probably not gonna have issues, but there's still a chance that the schlop comes out and it gets kind of messy. And like once it starts coming out, there's no stopping it. Another thing is the blast coefficient is kind of not great on this. Definitely a big blast potential here. And the sleepiness is not great. That depends on what you put on it, but after you're feeling full from a burrito, kind of want a nap. Then rounding off the B tier, B tier, we got chili, 10 for taste, 10 for reheatability. Those are the definitely like 2 really strong points of it. Can't really beat it in those tiers, but it suffers in other tiers. It can be a little bit messy. It's got a terrible blast coefficient. Like, it's like a complete 0 in that category. I mean, that's some blasting potential right there. Not every time, I guess, but it's probably the highest one so far on this list. And it'll make you pretty sleepy. All right, heading into the C tiers. Spoiling D tier. Starting off with instant ramen. Now, this is another one that might be kind of, I don't know, controversial. Well, I feel like it's pretty fair for middle of the pack. The taste is definitely a hit. The noodle texture like isn't great, so you know. Reheatability. So the reason I give it a 5, I would never reheat ramen twice. But the thing is, they're like really small, so I've never not finished a cup of ramen. So that is pretty good. So I gave it a 5 out of sympathy for ramen. The messiness is not great when you eat the noodles. There's really big splash potential. I almost always splash at least a little bit. And then it can, so it doesn't quite make me sleepy per se, but it doesn't make me feel good because that's like 500 daily % of your sodium. Kind of makes me feel like a soggy, wet napkin. It's not great. Tacos. High in taste, 8 in taste, but it suffers a lot in like blast. They're messy. Reheatability. So you're gonna have to like completely reassemble a taco every time you want the leftover tacos. Because if you keep them all together, it's gonna get soggy and not good. So you're gonna have to completely reassemble it every single time. That's not great. Chowders. It is pretty good taste, pretty good to reheat. Not as good as soup, but pretty safe on the blast coefficient. Can be a little messy. If you spill chowder, it's gonna be a cleanup for sure. For sleepiness, 0. It's gonna put you to sleep. That's a coma right there. So you gotta really watch how much you eat of that. Another controversial one, putting sushi in C tier, but I'll explain that a little bit. So taste is 13, very high taste. By the way, the ratings are out of 10, so if something gets above 10, it's like really good. Leftovers is like a 2. I do not think sushi stays well, like, when you put it in your fridge. Like, it ruins the texture, and it's not good, really. Just brings it down a lot of tiers. It's very expensive for the amount you get, so the price is not good. You're also probably not making this yourself. It is probably a delivery. So it's really the price, the reheating, and the fact that I have to get it delivered. It's not great. So that's what really pulls it down. Steak. It's got a 10 for taste. It's got like a 1 for reheatability. Yeah, it's just reheating steak's not right. Price is 3. Steak is pretty expensive. And then kind of makes you sleepy after a good steak. So it be like if you get it like rare or medium rare as you should, that I feel like that kind of increases the blast potential a little bit too. Not like crazy amount, but yeah. Pizza. So I thought pizza was gonna score higher. It actually did originally, but so it's got a 10 for taste. Scores really high in reheatability / leftovers. Is definitely the best thing on the list. Actually, even better than chili. So once you get the pizza, you just throw it in the fridge. You can do whatever you want with it. You can heat it up. You don't have to heat it up. You can leave this pizza out on the counter for the entire week, and it'll probably still be safe to eat. That is a joke for legal reasons, but yeah. So the downsides are you have to get it delivered. It's just really risky to get things delivered. Sleepiness is a 3. It's kind of sleepy food. Price, fast foods have like the price has gone not great since COVID, so that's kind of a downside too. Blast coefficient's not great either, especially like if you're getting it delivered. All right, so D tier. Burgers coming in at number 1 in D tier. Taste is a 9. Reheatability is a 2. Now, a lot of people are going to argue with that. Like, oh, just keep the burgers separate from the rest. Well, yeah, I don't agree. I think reheating a burger is like a sin and kind of similar to reheating a steak. It's just not something you do. It's just not going to, like, the ingredients won't be good. Like, it's like a taco scenario where you're gonna have to re-put this thing together every time you want to eat a burger, and this is not great. Blast coefficient is a 4. It's not terrible, but it's not the best either. Messiness is a 2. Burgers can get really messy. Like you're eating it and like if like it starts falling out, or you eat it the wrong way and you end up with less bread than there actually is of stuff inside. So stuff's like hanging out the edge. It's just that's not ideal. Sleepiness is a 3. It's kind of filling. It's pretty greasy. Hot dogs. It's got a 4 for taste. Most hot dogs aren't that great. Sure, I'd say hot dogs could have a little bit more taste, but that's a question for next patch. Reheatability 0. Reheating hot dogs is not right. Nobody's ever blasted from a hot dog. Well, maybe a few people have, but so pretty solid in that 8. Messiness. 2. I feel like a 2 might be too harsh. Might have to reevaluate that in the future, but that's where it is for now. And 3, it's sleepy. It's lots of bread. It's like fatty food. Greasy. Then this is box pizza, not just Red Baron, so it's any box pizza. And yeah, it's just 2 for taste. I'm not a fan of box pizza too much. 0 for reheatability. If you don't finish that box pizza, it's going in the trash. Blast coefficient 5, medium. And then price is 5 for what you get, in my opinion, and it's kind of sleepy-ish. F, we go down to corn dogs. Now this is really surprising because they have a special handling apparatus, as you see. But we'll see where they're lacking. So taste is an 8, so they're definitely not lacking there. Reheatability is 6. They reheat much better than hot dogs. I feel like blast coefficient is pretty bad on these. Corn dogs are risky. More so than hot dogs, I'd say. You put a lot of stuff on them. Not really messy. Definitely less messy than a hot dog, because you got the handling apparatus here, but still, it can be kind of messy. You're going to get these delivered. You're either getting them delivered or they're not good corn dogs, usually. And then I don't know what that is, but the sleepiness is a 5. What is that one? Oh, price. Yeah, getting corn dogs from a restaurant can be a little expensive. So yeah, that's the tier list. Pretty much wraps it up here.